Sometimes just because we've been misjudged. But we must persevere. That's our role. And also in the face of opposition. But sometimes there's an internal self problem. And so we have to persevere in the face of internal discouragement, or on the opposite of that, satisfaction. We have all those times when we start judging our own actions and we realize how much we failed to meet the standard of God, and we just want to quit. Many times you've looked at your life, man of God, I'm not being who I should be. I failed in this area and failed in that area. And then you wonder and think, God, how can He use me? Those moments when we judge that God is not listening to us or He's not answering us, or we feel like life is stagnant. It's during these times we have to realize that God may be doing a great work. And so don't quit. Persevere. Push through that internal discouragement. I haven't told hardly anybody this, but when I came to Hickory Street 4.5 years ago, I had just had a job change. My dad had just died. And y'all may or may not know it, but I went through about 3.5 years of my life. There was an internal struggle. I hide it pretty good, or hid it pretty good, but there was an internal struggle. I was looking at my own inadequacies. I was questioning things about, life and God, and not necessarily questioning God, but just questioning these things. And I'm only transparent with you because I want you to know that you are not alone in the struggles that you face. We all face struggles. Some of you face struggles right now about future health or in a relationship or any of those things. And it could get you down. It could discourage you internally. I know there's times that you felt discouraged, maybe even toward God, but I encourage you today, please persevere. We all need together to persevere together, right? We need each other. And so when we come together, we can agree, yes, we've been through trials, but we're pushing through together. We keep going forward. God's not finished with us. The ladies' ministries you see is going to do a blanket time thing this week. I think that's an answer to prayer. I'm praying for 2 ministries before the end of the year. But we look at that and we say, okay, I can't do much. I'm down and I'm discouraged, but we can do some things. Even if you can't walk, you can come and tie some blankets up. You can cut those. You can make boxes for OCC, or you can pray, you can stuff envelopes for the pregnancy center. I mean, we can be intentional about looking forward and persevering even through those trials in our life, those health issues, those things that we are not sure about, and not judge ourselves wrongly, not get internally discouraged. It says we're not the judge of the work here. Although in due time, God will bring to light, it says, those things that are hidden in the heart. What is inside will be revealed. You may have been just given a cup of cold water. Maybe you're just doing your best to have a positive attitude. Maybe you're just bringing candy for everybody on Sunday. Never think that whatever you are doing, never think it's too small if you're doing it for the work of God. And never let anybody else judge that, because God is the one that will be the judge of that. Hey, we are a family, are we not? Are we a strong family? Are we a capable family? Do we have a strong God? Do we have a capable God? Yes, if so, then let us persevere in the face of whatever opposition or challenge, or even if it's an internal discouragement, and continue to push forward. I think, though, before we move on from this verse, we should consider what Paul's saying. I know of nothing against myself, yet I am not justified by this. To me, this seems like a real exhortation to not get too comfortable just as how we think about ourselves. If we judge ourselves by normal societal expectation. Instead, we should pray and say, God, show me, tell me, judge me, look at my life, show me where I'm wrong or where I'm right. Y'all know 2 Timothy 2:15 says, be diligent to present yourself approved unto God, a workman that need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the truth. 1 Peter 2:5 says, you also as living stones are being built up in a spiritual house, a holy priesthood. Romans 12:1, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, to offer your bodies as living sacrifices. All these are telling us to continually push forward, persevere, just keep moving forward. Are we fulfilling our role in the church of Jesus Christ? If not, then let's begin to pray and find out what God would have us to do. We want to be the church that God called us to be. We want to be the people. Persevere. Keep examining. Serve somehow. Serve somewhere. Don't just be a sideline sitter. I told Gayla this morning, I kind of like to sit back here at the back and just check everything out. You know, it'd kind of be odd to put me, maybe something going on here. But I, at the same time, internally, I don't want to be just a sideline sitter. I know there's times that I'm tired and I may feel that way. But we need to keep striving to be a good example. Encourage each other in this role. Lift each other up. Don't put each other down. Maybe today you can confess, man, I've had some negative attitudes. Maybe you confess, I've been seeking to put others down. Maybe you find that you've been discouraged with God or yourself, and you need to pray for a renewed spirit, a fresh heart to serve. And so you can come and openly ask the church to pray, or you can come pour out your heart to God, or you can do it right there, and we can get right before God. We can be transparent with God. Somebody told me the other day how Billy Graham that had spoken at a revival, and they were saved. And I think that was you. And I remember as a small child going with my dad in Atlanta, Texas, to where a person like Billy Graham, I don't know who it was exactly, but we're going to come and speak. And there were people who came out and built this stage. And you think, well, what's the stage have to do with the evangelism or sharing the gospel or being a servant of God? But every little thing that you do, if you do it in the name of God for the purpose of lifting up God, then it is a big deal. Operation Christmas Child saves lives. Vacation Bible School, people are saved. Lives are touched when people have hard times. Sometimes teenagers are impacted through camp or Sunday school or whatever. We need you. Y'all know Uncle Sam? That's what he did, wasn't it? He was always pointing at somebody. Uncle Sam, he said, we need you. I think that's, I want you. Is that what it was? I want you. The call is going out. That time to serve in the military. The call is going out for the church today. And it starts with individuals. We need you to get a heart for God. Praise and worship Him with your life. Persevere when things are tough and you're spiritually dry. Don't let others drag you down. Don't get complacent. There's a guy named Alexander Gustav Eiffel. Anybody know him? I hope not, but because he was born in 1889. I don't think we have anybody. But when he built this huge, expansive architectural building, many people looked at him and thought, that's horrible. We want that thing removed as soon as this show is over. He actually built it in 1889, and it was for a big event like a World Trade Deal or whatever. What's that thing called? World's Fair, yeah. And so he built it there, and he knew it was destined for greatness. So he heard the voices of people who put it down and said its monstrosity should be taken away. But he continued to go forward. And today it's one of the architectural wonders of the modern world, and it stands as a primary landmark in Paris as the Eiffel Tower. And everybody knows who it is. And it started at the point where people were saying, this is a monstrosity. The work you're doing is the problem, and we don't like it. And he could have been discouraged and stopped his work. But in the same way, we are struck by Jesus, his loyalty to another structure, and that is the church. He's entrusted the unlikely band of disciples, and now the unlikely band of you and I into his work to say, look, I want to let you pour out the gospel to the world around us. And yes, there are people who are today in the politically correct world may come against us and say, we don't like what you're saying or doing, but I don't want you to get discouraged. I want you to know, yes, I am accountable as a witness, and I'm accountable to be faithful in that, but I don't want to quit. I want to persevere. I know there will be opposition and sometimes discouragement and sometimes too much satisfaction on my part. But as we close, listen to this, what Jesus prayed for us in John 17, 20 to 23. I do not pray for these alone, talking about his disciples, but all those who will believe in me through their word. That's you and I. Everybody who believes. This is Jesus praying for us. That they all may be one as you, Father, are in me, and I in you. And they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that you sent me.